Hey Wamba Kids Campers, we have come to our last day of On the Farm. I hope you've had a great time with us as we've been farming together, learning about Jesus together, and hanging out with our farm animals. Now behind me you see some deer. Who here has seen a deer before in the forest? Or maybe even on the road? That can be a little scary sometimes. Now, you may think, deer aren't farm animals. Why are we doing deer on the farm? Well, did you know in Canada there are multiple deer farms and people actually do farm deer, which means deer are a farm animal. That means next time you sing Old MacDonald Has a Farm, you can include deer in it as well. So, as we enter our Bible blueprint today, we are going to learn all about how God keeps his promises and how he kept his promise with Noah and the ark. And guess what? There probably were deer on the ark as well. Here we go, campers.
Hey campers, today we are going to practice our key verse for the week. It is Psalm 27:13. Wait patiently for the Lord. Be brave and courageous. Yes, wait patiently for the Lord. Now we're going to take away one of the words. Now let's practice it together. Wait patiently for the Lord. Be brave and courageous. Yes, wait patiently for the Lord. Now we're going to take away two more words. Now let's practice saying it again together. Wait patiently for the Lord. Be brave and courageous. Yes, wait patiently for the Lord. Now let's try it one more time and take away a few more words. Wait patiently for the Lord. Be brave and courageous. Yes, wait patiently for the Lord. Thanks so much for practicing our key verse with me. Hi campers, thank you so much for joining me today for our last Bible blueprint of the week. Today, we're going to be wrapping up our story about Noah and the ark. But before we hear about what happens next, we need to learn about what a promise is. A promise is an agreement you make with someone else to do something or to not do something. This can create trust in a person, and if you follow through on your promise, then you're able to ask that person to keep another promise. Promises can be easily broken. It can be really easy to promise something to someone and then break it. Today, we're going to learn about one of the biggest promises ever made, and you can still see it today. But first, let's review our story from the week. This week, we have learned that God called Noah to build a really big boat called an ark. Noah spent a really long time building it, even though everyone around him thought that he was silly for building such a big boat. Noah then gathered all of the animals, 2 by 2, onto the very large boat. Next, the flood covered the earth, and Noah was stuck on the boat for a really long time without knowing what God was planning on doing. Yesterday, we learned that Noah sent out a dove to help see if there's any dry land to know when they could come off the boat. Now that brings us up to speed on today's part of the story. The flood finally dries up, and Noah, his family, and all of the animals are free to come off the boat. God comes to Noah and makes one of the biggest promises to him that we still get to see today, which is a rainbow. Today, we sometimes get to see rainbows on a stormy day in the sky. Well, God created rainbows as a reminder to a promise that he made to everyone on earth. God promised them that he would never flood the earth again. God has never flooded the earth again, and we will always be reminded that every time we see a rainbow. Just like it said in our story from today, God promised Noah with a rainbow as a reminder that he would never flood the earth again. Now I'm going to be making a rainbow so that we can also use as a reminder. Today I'm going to be using some cups that are filled with water, food coloring, and paper towel. So I'm going to start by folding the paper towel in half, and then in half again, so it makes a little bit of a triangle. Now I'm going to drop some food coloring into the cups. Now I'm going to place the paper towel into the cups so that they're overlapping between each one. The water is now moving up the paper towels and will join in the other middle cups right here. Let's see what happens next. And just like that, after a little bit of waiting, we have a rainbow. This is a great example to see a visual of God's promise that He made a long, long time ago. And even on a stormy day, we can still see a rainbow up in the sky. Today's big idea is that God always keeps His promises. God made a promise to Noah a very, very, very long time ago, and God has still kept that promise to this day. But God has made many other promises to different people, and no matter what, God always keeps them. Thanks for joining me today for our Bible Blueprint.
All right, campers, does anyone remember the big idea for today? Can you say it to me? That's right. God always keeps His promises. And like we learned in our story today with Noah, God kept His promise to Noah and even gave him a symbol of a rainbow to remind him that He will always keep His promise to never flood the earth again. And God always keeps His promises to us as well. I hope you had fun on the farm with us. I sure had fun this week, including hanging out with my friends the deer behind me. Do you know that deer are one of the most popular animals in Canada? And they're even found on our quarters. Have you ever seen a quarter? There's a deer on the front. And there's lots of deer in the forest, on farms, and all throughout this great country of Canada. Friends, I've had so much fun hanging out with you this week on the farm. May you always remember that God always keeps His promises.